So I'm not on a roof, I'm not in the sun or anything crazy to where I should be having like a bad day, but it's just one of those days. I woke up, I had a migraine. It's a really bad one. It's dying down a little bit, but I don't do good with headaches to begin with, so I hate migraines. So I came into work, feeling like crap, and we have a location that I really hate coming to. They have the ACs in the attic, the commercial attic. So you got to move tiles over and stuff like that. So coming in, I thought I was gonna have to just troubleshoot an AC unit that wasn't working, because they said one of them wasn't working. I was like, fine, I'll go check it out. And I was like, worst case scenario, they have a back AC that tends to clog up every now and then. I think I've tried putting treatment in there. I don't have any of the tablets on me to put in there. I have the spray, which I think on this one they're gonna need the tablets sitting in there. So I'll probably have to come back for that. But I was like, worst case scenario, it's a clogged drain. We'll clear it out. They have this issue like when the maintenance is about to come up, which it is like in a month. So we need to clear the drain out. Now I've tried clearing it out. I cleared out some of it. Doesn't want to clear out. So I need to get in the attic. And what I need to buy is, well, for things like this, I can probably buy one of those little cartridges, the ones that blow out the drain. But I wanted to buy that little drain cat from Diversitech that gives you like that small nitrogen tank that you can refill, because I hate carrying around the big one. But either way, I don't think I have enough nitrogen to blow it out. I'm having issues with it. So I'm gonna have to get in the attic, disconnect the line set, and try and get it cleared. I'm gonna have some help come by, because my ladder's not tall enough. Their ladder here is not tall enough. The ceiling's, I don't know what it is, but it's like super high. And then, to reach the drain line. We don't usually do these kind of split systems, so I get annoyed when we do have to work on these, especially if they're in the attic, hanging in the attic. There's only like two locations that we have to deal with that have this, but it's just one of those days, man. I had the tile, one of the ceiling tiles fell on me. I don't even know how. Like, I was just trying to like peek in, and I guess it slipped through and fell on my head and whatever. And like I said, the drain's not clearing out like I wanted to from the bottom. I cleared out a whole bunch of gunk on both AC units, but it's still backed up. So it's pretty packed in there. Just little things like that add up. And even though this is not really a video on the work that I'm doing, there's not much to it. Also, they didn't tell me that it was raining inside. When I got here, I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to deal with 2 units now. So like I said, I think my help is here. We're gonna clear it out, and I'm just gonna take this opportunity to talk about what to do if you're burnt out or not having good days, because not every day is happy-go-lucky as I like to do it, but some days are like this. You get a crappy day, you don't feel good, something like that, and you got to push through. So we'll talk about that after I clear this out. Fucking kidding me. It fell through the only hole. Man, and my AirPod flew in my vacuum in the only hole. It could have bounced anywhere, and it went straight into the hole. And then the second one that I had help on was right over a light fixture. So I was not happy about that. We got a lot of the water there, but we tried to clean up as much as we could, try to prevent that. I need to get like a transfer pump for these attic units. So needless to say, that front unit that was leaking water did not have a cutoff for the secondary drain pan. So it filled up. It did have the little T1 and the safety T or whatever they're called in the first drain, but I think both of them have it, but they never trigger anything. I guess it backs up right before it and then just overflows to the secondary. Yeah, draining those things sucked. So I'm gonna come back. I don't have any on me. I'm gonna come back with the secondary safety and make sure everything else is good, and then I think that'll be it. I have no service here. Like, it was hard to get text messages. I could make calls, I think, but I was not getting texts. I couldn't. Right now I can't pull up my maps for my next one, but it's just one of those days, man. Hola, welcome back to the Reliable HVACR podcast. So this is a part of that mini series that I'm talking about, where it's a pre-recorded episode. So today's topic is, if you're watching on YouTube, or I probably put a little snippet of it in the audio podcast as well. Obviously, it's going to be about being burnt out. Now, it happens to everybody. I don't know if it gets talked about enough. It's a thing, getting burnt out is a real thing. Getting frustrated, having those tough days, having those bad days, it's a real thing, and it can be pretty difficult to work through or even deal with after work. And it might not get talked about enough. Some people either tell you the trade is great, it's all happy, fun, go lucky times, or they tell you it's too tough and you need to tough it out. So there's different aspects. And like I said, like I've always said, there's a good and bad. And then there's going to be days that are harder than others, frustrations, not being able to get through a troubleshooting call, or, not figuring out something, making mistakes here and there, having to redo something because you kind of screwed up, having your boss, breathe down your back and pull you here, pull you there, working long hours, like, not having enough time for any, activities outside of work, family time, uh, getting called in when you had plans, stuff like that. All that kind of stuff happens. And to me, it's how you deal with it, how you get through all that, that will better help you in the long run. Either it'll help you, with your mental, or it'll break you down. So just wanted to talk about that. So in the clip that I showed, if you're on YouTube, you'll see the whole clip. If you're listening on the audio podcast, I probably just took out a piece that was most important, that kind of summed up the day. But basically, I had a day recently, or not too recently. I recorded that a while ago, but they happen often, right? In that clip in particular, I had a day that I just wasn't feeling well. I had a migraine. I don't think I was sick or anything, but I had a migraine. I went out to this location that I really hate going to. They have split systems. I am not really into split systems. I'm a commercial guy. I do like commercial rooftop package units. So was not super enthusiastic about going out to this call. This building has a lot of issues that they do not want to address, which a lot of them are like that. We deal with, fast food chains and pizza places and stuff like that. And it's kind of funny that the bigger the name, the cheaper they are, the more stingy they are. It happens like that. It's good money because most of the time they're like, yeah, we need it fixed. But then you're like, okay, I want to, bring up your duct to you, or something about the AC system, or, something about the walk-in that's not maybe put in right, or wasn't done right, or needs to be addressed, or something on the roof. And like 9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, yeah, we'll think about it, and never get back to you. They really don't want to fix anything until it goes down. In that sense, it's good money because, like I said, we do fast food commercial chains, and they're going to be, paying regardless because their stuff goes down because they use it so much. They can't be without AC because they have customers that come in and eat, and they're cooking all the time. So we deal with commercial kitchens. It's a good business, but if you really think about it, we're missing out on a whole bunch of money because they just don't want, or maybe don't have the money to pay for all this stuff. So like I said, they have a lot of issues at these locations. I went out to one of them in particular. The drain always acts up. So we had to fix like the pitch. We've had to fix like the pitch of the drain line because it runs through the commercial attic. So above the ceiling tiles, we have to move, or we have to get in there. It's not an easy access to these units are suspended in the ceiling, and you have to be on a super tall ladder just to be working on them. There's not an attic that I can crawl into, or there's not anywhere that I can just sit down in front of the unit. It's suspended in the air. So, I don't like that about this. And then we had to fix some of the drain stuff. They don't do, well, they just started regular maintenance, and they just get really dirty. And then it's close to the ocean. Stuff happens out there, corrosion, different things in the air. And then also, what we've noticed, I don't remember exactly what happened. I think their exhaust and makeup air is not, you know, sized right. And then their AC units, they have a lot of complaints that it gets hot in there, and it's mostly due to the makeup and exhaust, which we went back and kind of got them by, because we went and redirected a lot of their ducts. Um, I think at this one we had to use all the ducts, because at another location it was too cold on the back and too hot in the front, to where we had to actually eliminate some of the vents in the back, and then kind of redirect some to the front. It's not properly designed. And this location that I was at in this clip has a similar issue, where they are just not getting enough airflow in the building. So, like I said, some of that's due to the makeup air and exhaust system, but we went ahead and gave them some new diffusers that kind of help distribute the air where it needs to be. And we brought that building down, uh, cooling wise, quite a bit. Now, this system that they called me out to, I had not actually worked on it. They had a lot of issues with the back AC, not the front. So I went to go work on the front, and figured out that it had no. The back one had safeties. It would fill up the pan and then trip. Obviously, they would call it in because it was too hot, because the AC was off. The one in the front, for some reason, did not have any safety for the drain line. No float, no nothing. So when I went out there, I figured that out. Right, it got clogged up. It backed up. It was throwing a lot of water in there. I mean, I don't know how long it had been like that. There was so much water, and that made me frustrated too, because I think I got called to the back one that had tripped, right? So I was like, okay, I just have to drain it out, check the drain line again, just make sure everything's draining properly, and then kind of like um, clean it out. And then they're like, oh yeah, the front's it's raining in the front. So then I go check the front one, and that one's full too, and that one, like I showed in the video clip, it's right above light fixtures. It's in like a really weird spot. And trying to drain out that water, I'm getting water all over their electrical stuff, their light fixtures, and it was really annoying. And then I had to go get a part. I had to go get the float safety for that drain line. I think they call it a safety tee. So we put one of those in, and then as I'm trying to look through the tile, one of them slipped, fell on my head. Like I said, I had a migraine in that video. So all this just added up, and kind of brought this topic that I wanted to talk about, because by no means is this like the worst call I've ever had. It was just one of those that, one thing after another. My AirPods, I wear AirPods at work. They fell out of my ears coincidentally, and fell in the small hole in my wet vac. So I was using that to vacuum out the drain line, so it had water in it, and my AirPod just flew right in there with the water. Could have fallen anywhere, bounced around anywhere, but no, it went into the tiny hole straight into the water. So like I said, just little things like that. And I think I was having trouble with my van too. So like, I was already getting pretty frustrated. So um, I don't have too many of those days now, because I've kind of learned to deal with them. So like I said, if you guys can deal with the stress, the frustrations, the long hours, um, little things are going to set you off, but it's how you deal with it. So for me, and that's why I had a podcast with Matt Showers. He does his own podcast called Trade Therapy, if you want to check that out. He's more into that kind of stuff. I'm not a pro at that. I'm not good about talking about that kind of stuff. But I did one with him so we can kind of talk about that whole side of things. And like, if you are looking into listening about other people's struggles and how they deal with it, go look for Trade Therapy on Spotify or anywhere you listen. His podcast, like I said, deals with that. So I had him on because I wanted different perspectives on this stress factor that we have at work. Some people, it gets to them. Some people need therapy. Some people need to just step back and kind of realize, what the problem is, or that their health is not in good shape, all that kind of stuff. Now, I've been there. I've done that. I get frustrated. I curse out a system. I have days where I don't want to talk to anybody, coworkers. I work with family, so that gets kind of tough. But I I get frustrated. I get tired. I get stressed. All this stuff happens, and what I've learned, just in general in my life, is that it's not worth it. It's not worth getting down about something. It's not worth stressing about things. And I know that's probably easier to say than actually like practice or do, but it really isn't. So when I started, I screwed up a lot. And that stuff would go home with me. If I couldn't fix something that day, I mean, sometimes it took me a couple days to fix something and I didn't know what I was doing. Or, I went to school and I didn't have the experience. So issues would come up that I did not see in school. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. So, like, any issues at work went home with me all the time. Now, if you do that, it kind of eats at you and it ruins like your after hours. It ruins your free time. It ruins your mental health, all that kind of stuff. So what I tried to do, of course, one thing I could do was get better, right? After school, I would look up manuals. I would go online, trying to find out whatever I could. We went to a lot of training, things in person on stuff that I was having issues with, ice machines, things like that. So I did a lot of training, whether it was professional training or on my own, reading, looking up manuals and trying to figure out or get to know the equipment better. So that was one aspect, right? Get better so that you don't have these issues at work. And that's why I would say to be better, every day or day to day. So if you do something like you do ice machines, you do AC units, whatever it is that you do, more times than not, you're going to see the same problems, or you're going to start to see the same problems over and over and over. Oh, dirty coil. That happens a lot. Uh, Bad airflow, right? Evaporators, blower motors, contactors don't have good contacts. Ice machines, they don't have good water flow, water valves. They're dirty. A lot of the stuff we deal with is maintenance based because they don't do maintenance. A lot of the stuff gets dirty, whether that's outside condensers taking up all the dirt and dust that's in the air, or an ice machine that for whatever reason has either bad water supplied to it. They don't do a filter. They don't change the filter. Scale builds up. Walk-ins, they don't clean those either. They get dust in them as well. They get sucked up from them going in and out of it so much. Stuff starts to slug up. You get all this nasty stuff in there, especially if you do kitchens. You're going to get food everywhere. So you'll start to see the same problems over and over. So that's why I'm saying, like, always be better, always be aware when you're working, because a lot of the times you can just improve your skill set, improve your knowledge, and every day gets easier. So that's one aspect, right? Just get better. And then you'll start seeing these problems. You'll start getting better at diagnosing them quicker, knowing what's going on and how the system works. That goes a long way. Now, after that, it's kind of your attitude and, like I said, how you deal with things. So if you have issues at work, um, like I said, try not to bring it home. And I've said this before, like, yeah, like I said, take an hour or two after work or however long you want to do it and look up YouTube videos, look up manuals on the stuff that you were having issues with, look up literature, grab some textbooks. I have textbooks on me. I need to put those in my link too, to kind of, or my tool link, to kind of give you guys some recommendations, because I do get asked that question a lot. Um, I don't read them so much anymore because I've read through them a few times, but when I started, it was good to look through them. Craig, AC Service Tech, does really cool videos, a lot of visuals. I have some of his. So things like that, just if you need a refresher or just to kind of skim through it, that helps too. But don't dwell on it. Don't dwell on the work stuff. You get home, taking all that frustration and stress home is what's gonna ruin either your free time, your mental, or now this hasn't happened to me too much. It happened to me a little bit, but it can ruin your relationships. It's gonna ruin the time with your kids. They're gonna see you as a bitter person because of work, right? Everybody's like, "Oh, I love working in HVAC. I love what I do and this and that." But then, like, if you're grumpy all the time, that's how your kids are going to perceive you or your loved ones. So don't dwell on it after work. So try and separate however you can. Now, I run a business with my dad, and it's kind of hard to do that. If you're just working for somebody, it's as easy as clocking out. But if you run a business, it's a little bit harder. But even then, like, me and my dad are at a point right now where nothing really bothers us. Of course, if people are taking too long to pay, that's probably the most stressful or annoying thing. But other than that, we try not to worry about it. Some of our guys worry when another company comes in to look at something, maybe a second opinion or what have you, right? I believe there's enough work for everybody on that topic, but um, as long as you do good work, take pride in your work, and don't lie to the customer, I think you'll always have work, and they'll always come back to you. Uh, because there's a lot of companies that don't. A lot of companies out there are just to make a quick buck, but that's another topic, right? Um, but yeah, try not to live with all this stress. Don't worry about stuff like that. Try to separate work and home. So when you get home, you're going to worry about it. Especially if you run a business, it's typical. It's expected. But like, once I see my kids when I'm home, I try to turn it off. Like, I don't want to ruin their day. I don't want to not spend time with them, And then, when I'm with my significant other, we try to talk about anything else. Now, if she wants to talk about work, great. I can vent a little bit. I think that helps a little bit. When you have a significant other or somebody that you can talk to about work after work. Now, you can go on a little rant. Great. That's a little therapeutic. If you have somebody like that, that's great. Now, just don't try to make everything about work. Have your little rant if you need it, talk this and that, and then move on. Make dinner plans, just spend time, watch a movie, watch a show, do something. Spend time with your kids, go outside, have hobbies, activities that help you decompress. Because once you figure that out, the sky's the limit. Um, I think that's the part that screws with everybody a lot. So new guys come in, right? If they're getting hounded by their boss, if they're getting, I call it bullying, they get bullied by other workers, other techs. What's going to make them want to stay in the trade, right? So we all need to be better about how we treat each other, but um, having a good state of mind is helpful, because, like, if it's just stress 24/7, I don't think anybody wants to be in this trade. There is stress, there is frustrations. How you deal with it is what makes or breaks you. So, like I said, for me, it was once I kind of came to terms with trying to separate work from home. And then, like I said, just getting better. So I take it upon myself to try and make myself better as a tech every day. And then just try and be a better family person, family man when I'm out of work. And that's another thing that I love about this whole online community, right? I didn't have too many people that I could talk to shop around here. And if I did, come to find out that they do things that I'm not or I don't approve of. So going on Instagram, being on YouTube, all of these guys are trying to make each other better for the most part. Um, and if anybody criticizes you, like even me when I started, I got criticized. A lot of people came to my defense. So it's a great community. I love it. I love being able to talk to other people about HVAC. It's something that I am super passionate about. I love fixing things. I've done electronics. I've fixed phones, laptops, TVs, things like that. So doing this is a blast. Being at different locations every day, talking to different people every day, um, being on the road, that kind of stuff. I enjoy that aspect of it too. So all of that, and that's all stuff that you have to take in mind, right? If you get into HVAC, what kind of person are you? Are you a chatty person? Maybe residential's for you, or something in sales. You can go different ways. Are you like me? Are you an introvert? That I kind of am friendly when I need to be, but for the most part, I just like to get my work done and go on to the next one. Which, as a business owner, I know that I had to get over that, so I'm better about it now. But I love commercial HVAC, so most of the time I'm on the roof by myself. The only time that I have to deal with a lot of people is when I'm working in the kitchen. Maybe not a walk-in cooler or freezer, but like when I'm working on stuff in the kitchen, like they have little coolers and freezers, ice machines, ice cream machines, stuff like that that is in the front. Then I have to, talk to cooks, employees, people in the back, managers. So I get a little mix of both. But like, depending on how you are, and I've talked to several people or a lot of people, and half of them are, I need that. I need to talk to these people. I need to, that kind of stuff makes their day go by quicker. And that's the stuff that they enjoy. They love, um, I think we all love being the hero in the HVAC world, right? You get that AC going for that family. You get the equipment, like commercial equipment, coolers, freezers, and you save the customer all their product. But some people enjoy residential for the, I don't know if you call it companionship, but like just being able to talk to these homeowners and have conversations, and that's how their day goes by quicker. For me, I'm the type of person that likes to knock out as many calls as I can on the commercial side, and I just want to get my work done. So, commercial, if you're that kind of person, commercial is probably better for you, and you don't have to deal with it as much like people. And I've heard that too. Like there's some people that are like that. And then me driving, I drive sometimes an hour to a call, sometimes 2 hours to a call. I enjoy that drive. I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy the drive. I have a subwoofer in my van, new speakers. I always put new speakers when I get a new van. And I just put in a CarPlay on my latest van. I usually put in some kind of Bluetooth stereo, but I went ahead and put a CarPlay one this time. So whatever I can to make that ride, you know, better for myself, because that ride, I'm decompressing, I'm thinking about the next call, thinking about, other things that I have to do. And then I want my music to help me kind of, or to be that therapy for me in between calls. You're tired, you're frustrated. That's kind of one of the things that I like. So I really enjoy listening to music, working out, playing basketball. So all that kind of stuff is stuff that I try to do for myself. Obviously now I've always been into like editing and stuff. So now I do podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, photo editing, stuff like that. So all that stuff kind of helps me, deal with my stress. But if you guys have any hobbies, if you guys do sports, if you guys watch anything, family time is another thing, do all that. Separate work from your home life. And I promise you, you will be better. Like I said, go look at Matt's podcast, Trade Therapy, because he deals with, or he talks about people dealing with addictions and really more serious things than me, right? I'm a laid back person, and that's what people either love or hate about me. It's just, that's how it is. So I'm super laid back, and I think that helps me in this trade. Um, because if something goes wrong or I mess up, in my head, I kind of gave myself this little pep talk a long time ago. But in my head, if I screw up, anything that we do in this trade, repair wise, anything work wise, it's fixable. You burn a hole through the copper, you wire something up wrong, and you burn something. Don't sweat it. Go, you either need to eat the cost, get another part, patch up that hole, patch up that leak that you made. It's all fixable. Don't worry about it. Once I realized that, I made a difference. Like I said, when I started, I screwed up a lot. I felt horrible after work. Um, and this trade is not for everybody. Now, as far as the relationship stuff, like I said, it didn't affect me too much, but you're gonna have those issues where they want to know your hours, they want to know when you're getting home. You know, they want you to make it to everything as far as like events, plans that you have with your family. Sometimes work gets in the way of that. So you really need to address that with whoever you're with. That sometimes that might happen. It happens more in the beginning because obviously the more you've been at a company, you get a little more leeway with that kind of stuff. You can probably get those days off. And then if you run a business like what I do now, I can have all the time in the world. Um, and that's a benefit, of running a business. I love money, but I value time just as much. Like right now, I'm recording this podcast. I'm about to go to my kids' award assembly. I took the day off. I can do that. So, running a business, we'll talk about that another episode. But running a business is not for everybody. There's stress there too. But like I said, I'm laid back. My dad has realized to, lay back too. And we kind of realized, there's work out there for everybody. Don't worry about it. And summer's coming up, so please take care of yourself. That's another thing, right? We've been talking about mental, but physically take care of yourself. That's where a lot of other frustrations come from. You're in the sun all the time as an HVAC tech, especially if you do AC only. So please take care of yourself. Have the right boots, have a sun hat, the wide brim hats with the neck guard, preferably. I like to have cooling towels as well. Those are the ones that you get wet and you wring them out. You can put them on your neck, keep you cool. All that stuff I do have in my tool link. If you guys want to just check out what I use personally, because that made a big difference too. Is I'm in the sun a lot, and if I can, keep myself from getting um, worn out and tired, that's a big deal too. So, like I said, make sure you have the proper hat, something that covers your neck. I also wear arm sleeves to keep the sun off my arms. I wear gloves all the time. I'm covered head to toe. I don't want that sun to do any damage to me, wear me out, get me tired. Anything I can, buy yourself a little. I have a little Milwaukee fan. I don't use it as often as I should, but I have a little Milwaukee fan, right? I've used it when I do mostly rooftop units. So when I go to a package unit, I've had to do repairs in the condenser coil. I take off the fan and the cover and all that, and I hop in. There's no air in there, right? So then I have the little fan on me. I've done that. Um, Make sure you have water with you all the time, or if you don't, go take a break when you need to. Get that water in. An umbrella if you guys need it. My dad always wanted to get us umbrellas and this and that, so we'd always find ways to strap an umbrella to the unit. And then Subco has that magnetic one, so we bought that one. I know it doesn't do well in super windy conditions, but it's better to have than not have anything. So like umbrellas, sleeves, the right hat, the right gear, good pants. Like I have some that are double padded on the knees, but if you guys need knee pads, kneeling pads, gloves, all this stuff. Make sure you have good sunglasses, safety glasses, anything you can to make sure that you're not getting worn out at work, because that is a big deal. If you're in the sun in the summer, especially in some of these states like Texas, Arizona, even California, all these heat waves that come through. It's no joke. I feel like I'm gonna pass out all the time. And what helped me is when I started taking care of myself physically too. So yeah, you tend to get more frustrated when you're out in the sun, dealing with all these conditions. But if you have the right gear, it makes these calls like way easier. I'm just telling you from experience. That's another thing that kind of clicked for me, right? I was always like, I have to be Superman. I have to be this superhero that is like this HVAC tech that can handle anything, right? You can be in an attic all day. You can be in the sun without any protective gear. That's not the case. We're not superhuman. If you guys are in attics too, that's another thing. You're gonna lose a lot of. Um, you're gonna get dehydrated because you're sweating so much and you're losing so much just being in there 5-10 minutes. So imagine you're doing a repair in there. So like I said, have a little portable fan. Take breaks. Drink a lot of water. I don't care who you are. If your employer is giving you shit about something taking too long, I hope they know that you're trying to take care of yourself. So if you're on a roof, if you're out in the heat, especially if you're having a heat wave or anything like that, or anything's like 100 degrees, 90 degrees, whatever's hot in your area, please take those breaks. Take a 10, 15-minute break. Come down, go in the van, get some air conditioning. Do something. Like that unit has probably been down for a while. If it needs a major repair, it's not going to be done in 30 minutes. So if you're there for a few hours, take those breaks. I don't care who you are. Take those breaks. It goes a long way. So take care of your body. You only have one body for the rest of your career. So take care of your knees. Take care of yourself when you're out in the sun. If you're in an attic, be taking those breaks. Be taking some water with you for sure. Don't want you passing out in an attic. Don't want you passing out on the roof. Um, Wear good sunglasses because I deal with a lot of white roofs. That stuff is blinding. And then like I think that has triggered headaches and migraines for me too. So wear protective gear. Take those breaks. I don't want you guys getting worn out. That's another big part of the stress and frustrations that we deal with. Uncomfortable, um, work situations and all this uh, physical stuff that we have to endure, the heat, the sun, addicts, Also, if you guys are doing major repairs, you got to take up a compressor, you got to change out, a big motor, change out a unit. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you need an extra person. You're not Superman. You're not going to lift this thing on your own. You're not going to get this thing on the roof by yourself. You don't want your back to be destroyed within like 5 years. So, like I said, take care of your knees, take care of yourself in the sun, hydrate, and get out of those attics often if you can to take breaks. And then don't do all this heavy lifting, crazy, superhuman stuff that you think you can do. When I started, I thought I could do everything, but you need to take care of your body. So that's another big it's another big thing that factors into your mental too. Take care of yourself. Separate work from your home life. Make time for yourself. Chill out. Don't worry about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know this is just a rant. I don't have a script or anything. I just kind of go off the top of my head, kind of help or try to help you guys with my experience and what helps me. So like I said, that's what helped me is when I separated the two, made time for myself, make sure I get to my hobbies, my family time, things that help me relax and decompress. I'm sure you all have something. So whatever it is, do it when you're not working. I don't know. Cleaning my van is also therapeutic. Listening to music, doing sports, working out. And like I said, the stuff that I do online, the social content, all that stuff helps me not think about work. And then, I turn it off. Don't worry about it till I get to work the next day. That's just how I am. And if you're new and if you're having problems or if you feel like you're not doing well at work when you start, right? You feel like you're screwing up left and right or you're not doing good enough. Everything is fixable. And don't be afraid to ask for help. That's the only way you're going to excel in this trade. So, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Episode 3, I believe. This is a mini series. I might have like 5 episodes that I can think of, and then after that, we'll see if I continue it. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like. I appreciate anybody who's listening to the audio podcast. And yeah, see you guys.